Tyson Bagent and the Chicago Bears will be facing off against the Los Angeles Chargers in LA on Sunday Night Football in front of all of America. Can the Bears shock the world? Watch this video to hear my thoughts. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears pregame prediction video, which I'll be doing before every single Bears game this year. So subscribe to my channel if you guys want my thoughts before and after each Bears game. And man, what an opportunity for rookie quarterback Tyson Bagent to go from Division II, going to Shepherd, playing in front of a couple thousand people, probably maximum on a weekly basis, to go from that to playing at SoFi Stadium in front of a lot of people, in front of all of America on national television. Division II quarterbacks do not get opportunities like that, and we'll see what he's made of, man. We'll see if he can handle the bright lights. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Bears fans there rooting him on, because in LA, there's always like at least half Bears fans at SoFi, so it should be kind of like a home game for us, but still, it's going to be in front of a lot of people. I'm sure Tyson Bagent probably will be at least a little bit nervous for this game, but if there's anything I've seen out of him is that the dude does not lack confidence, so he believes in himself, he believes in his abilities, he carries himself with the swagger, with the confidence that you just usually don't see out of a rookie quarterback. So you know, I'm not going to be expecting the world out of him because he's a rookie quarterback. He's still only the backup quarterback of the Chicago Bears. You know, we're not going to go crazy anointing him as QB1. But I do think Tyson Bagent has the right mindset to succeed while he's a starting quarterback of the Chicago Bears while Fields is out. And talking about Justin Fields, he probably will not be playing in this game. According to Coach Eberflus, he is doubtful for this game, which almost always means that player is not going to be playing. So Fields is going to be out for this game. He could be back next week against the Saints. It seems like he's doing everything he can to be back for that game, but right now it is going to be the Tyson Bagent show. And again, what a cool opportunity for him to be playing in front of all of America, in front of so many damn people. I'm sure the Sunday Night Football crew is going to be cooking up a lot of cool graphics, you know, talking about maybe his upbringing, like his time in Division II. Like, they're going to be talking a lot about this story because, again, Division II quarterbacks don't get chances like this. So, you know, really cool opportunity for Tyson Bagent. And talking about the Chicago Bears, guys, like, they still have a chance to turn the season around to some extent, right? Like, they're 2-5 right now, so obviously, like, we don't have a great chance of making the playoffs. But if we win this game, guys, and go to 3-5, there's a lot of winnable games on our schedule coming up. And with how good the Bears have been playing as of late on defense, anything is possible if we keep up that defensive performance and run the football well and just don't have our quarterback making too many bad decisions, whoever that quarterback is. So, like, even though I've said a million times the season is over, we still could have a chance to make a run, as crazy as that sounds. But talking about our opponent in this game, the LA Chargers, they have the same amount of wins as us, which seems crazy when you look at their roster because they have a pretty talented roster of both offense and defense, but they're severely underperforming and losing a lot of games. Okay, they're 2-4. All of their losses have been pretty close losses, though, so it's not like they've been getting blown out every single game. They barely lost against, well, the Chiefs they lost by 2 possessions against, but that game was a 1-possession game in the fourth quarter. They barely lost against the Dolphins. They barely lost against the Titans in overtime. They barely lost against the Cowboys by 3 points. So it's not like it's a bad team. This team very easily could have a winning record right now, but Brandon Staley is not a good head coach. He's proven time and time again, and this team seems to choke at the worst times against some, you know, inferior opponents too, right? Like, they probably should have beat the Titans, but they lost against the Titans in overtime. So even though this team is better than us on paper, there still is a chance to beat them just because of how badly they've been playing at times and with how the Bears right now are playing their best football of the season. But talking about the Chargers, guys, I'll be breaking down both sides of the football for them. And talking about their offense, guys, they rank number 11 in points scored per game, number 8 in yards gained per game, number 8 passing attack, and number 16 run game. And they have a new offensive coordinator here, Kellen Moore, coming over from the Dallas Cowboys, and he's put a lot more deeper passing plays into this Chargers playbook because their last offensive coordinator, Lombardi, did not really have, you know, many deep concepts. That's what Chargers fans, you know, complained about a lot the last couple of years. But, you know, Kellen Moore has been stretching the field a lot more for Justin Herbert, one of the most talented quarterbacks in the NFL. And it has been working because their passing attack is ranked, you know, pretty highly in the NFL, the number 8 passing attack. And talking about Justin Herbert, guys, this is still one of the best quarterbacks in the game, okay? As much as the narrative exists about him, you know, choking games and not being good in the fourth quarter and, you know, losing a lot, I think the Chargers are more just a bad franchise that Justin Herbert has, unfortunately been drafted by, which is why he's been losing games, because this is still one of the best quarterbacks in the game, guys. He can make any throw in the book. He can throw down the field. He can throw off platform. He can anticipate well throwing down the field. He can extend plays because he's a big, tall, physical guy, 6'6" and however many pounds. Okay, it's tough to bring this guy down. So, on the season, he has 1,592 passing yards, 10 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So not the best of the best numbers, but still pretty respectable numbers. And I know that, at times he's not looked that good, especially in that Cowboys game. Down the stretch, he had a few bad drives there. But for the most part, this is one of the best quarterbacks in the game. And the Bears defense will be challenged by a quarterback this good. Okay, definitely the second best quarterback we played so far this year, aside from obviously Patrick Mahomes. But talking about the weapons of this team, they did lose Mike Williams with a torn ACL for the entire season, so we're not going to have to face off against him. But they still have Keenan Allen, a solid number 1 receiver who's really good running routes and getting up there in age, but still pretty reliable catching the ball as a number 1. And he has 574 yards on the season so far, so definitely off to a really good start. They also got Joshua Palmer, the young kid, 24 years old, who has been making a lot of big explosive plays downfield. So another option for, Justin Herbert to go to in the passing attack. But aside from them, they did draft Quentin Johnson out of TCU in the first round this year. But Quentin Johnson's been having a terrible start to his NFL career so far. Not really fighting for the ball, not really running routes well. I was never a big fan of him in the draft process. I'm really happy the Bears did not draft him because he had a lot of weaknesses to his game coming out of TCU. And those weaknesses have been exposed so far in the NFL. But he's still a young guy, still a very physically dominant guy in terms of, having height, having speed, having agility. So maybe he gets going against the Bears, but he's certainly not been doing good so far in his NFL career. And one of the biggest X factors on this offense is going to be Austin Eckler, okay? The all-purpose running back that can catch the ball out of the backfield, that can also run pretty well in the open field. He led the NFL in touchdowns last year, but so far he has struggled with injuries. He only has 189 rushing yards in the season, only 83 receiving yards. So we'll see how healthy he is for this game. If he is fully healthy, he's a weapon to be dealt with for sure. But if he's not healthy, Joshua Kelly is going to be leading the way at running back for the Chargers, and he's only been maybe like above average at the very best. So he's certainly not the superstar that Austin Eckler is when he is fully healthy. And lastly, I do want to talk about the offensive line of the Chargers because they have been struggling for a good portion of the season, aside from left tackle Rashawn Slater. Okay, aside from him, every other player on the offensive line has had some bad moments this season, and especially in pass pro, there's been some miscommunication, some poor blocking efforts by this entire Chargers offensive line. So keep an eye out for how they protect Justin Herbert in this game if they have another bad effort against a Bears defensive line that has been playing a little bit better as of late. Maybe we could get some sacks finally on the quarterback, but that's the Chargers offense. Talking about the Chargers defense then, it's been very, very bad. So they rank number 25 in points allowed per game, number 31 in yards allowed per game, number 32 passing defense, dead last, and the number 11 run defense in the NFL. And for having a defensive-minded head coach and having all this talent on this defense, they are severely underperforming on defense, as you can see by the numbers. Okay, the worst pass defense in all of football, even though they have a pass rush of Khalil Mack, our guy, Khalil Mack. They got Joey Bosa there. They got Tuli Tuipulotu out of USC, who's been having a pretty good start to his career as well. So they have talent on this pass rush. They have some talent in the secondary as well, but the secondary talent's been playing horrible so far this year. Okay, the secondary has been completely just god-awful, allowing big plays downfield, a lot of lapses in coverage. Derwin James, the star safety, has not been having a good start to the season up to this point. And, they do have Asante Samuel playing pretty well at times, but aside from him, nobody else in the secondary really has stepped up. So it's a secondary that is the worst in football right now and allowing a lot of big, explosive chunk yards down the field. So certainly an area where, rookie quarterback Tyson Bagent could look to attack maybe downfield, right? Because Tyson Bagent so far is not really thrown deep that often, but this is definitely the defense to throw deep against if you can, because, again, they've been bad against the pass. But talking about their pass rush, they do have big star names on this pass rush. Okay, they have Khalil Mack, who us Bears fans obviously know very well. We traded him away to the Chargers last year, so it's going to be kind of a revenge game for Khalil Mack. Hopefully it doesn't go too hard on us. Hopefully he takes it a little bit easy on his former team, but obviously he's not going to. He's going to be out there, looking for blood. And he has 7 sacks on the season so far, so definitely really productive, but 6 of them came in one game against the Raiders. So he's been a little bit on and off this year, like some games getting a lot of sacks. Obviously against the Raiders got 6, but aside from that, only 1 sack against the Cowboys, and Other games, no sacks, but he's been getting pressure on the quarterback. He's been getting, really good run stuffs as well. He's been always been good against the run, right? So, Khalil Mack is still, in my opinion, one of the best pass rushers in the game. Maybe not as dominant, as elite as he was at times in 2018 with the Bears, but still a really, really good pass rusher. They got Joey Bosa there on the other side too, who's been a little bit disappointing this year. He only has 3 sacks on the year, but we know how dominant he can be when he's truly locked in. They also drafted Tuli Tuipulotu out of USC, who has 2 sacks on the year so far. He's had some really exciting moments at times with the Chargers, and Morgan Fox on the defensive line has 5 sacks, so they can definitely get after the quarterback. Definitely the strength of this team, but they're still a really bad defense, guys. They're still allowing a lot of yards downfield because of how bad the secondary is, because of how on and off the pass rush has been at times, even with how much talent they have. Some games have been amazing, other games not doing really much at all. So, not a good defense right here in LA so far. They do have the talent to turn it around though at some point, but Brandon Staley is not getting anything out of them. As he should as a defensive-minded head coach. So that's the Chargers defense. Talking about the Chicago Bears now, I'll begin by talking about their offense, and they rank number 13 in points scored per game, number 18 in yards gained per game, number 27 passing attack, and number 5 run game. And the Bears have really began to lean into their core strength, and that's the run game. Okay, last year the Bears had the number 1 ranked rushing attack in football, and this year, for whatever reason, the first couple weeks of the season, we did not run the football as much as we should have. But they have been doing that recently, and the run blocking up front has been amazing. Last game against the Raiders, the Bears offensive line completely bullied the Raiders D-line, while running the football. And the Bears have some strong physical backs here in Deontay Foreman and now Roschon Johnson coming back from injury. He should be healthy enough to play in this game. So we got a Texas backfield now of Deontay Foreman and Roschon Johnson, who have, both proven to be very physically imposing runners that can punish defenders in the open field, lower their shoulder and truck some guys, and also be shifty enough to make some guys miss in the open field. So we have a really good running back duo right now, which I'm totally confident in. I'm confident in the run blocking. I'm confident in the run game designing by Luke Getsy. So we should stick with what's working, and that's the run game, right? It's been a really good run game. Number 5 ranked rushing attack in football for the Chicago Bears. And talking about the offensive line, we could be getting Braxton Jones back for this game too. Okay, our left tackle Braxton Jones out for about the last month due to a neck injury. His window to be activated from IR is officially open, so he was practicing on Wednesday in limited fashion. I'm recording this video early on Wednesday, so I'm not totally sure if he's going to be playing or not. Keep an eye out on his practice status for both Thursday and Friday to see if he could indeed return for the Bears, which would be a massive boost to get back our franchise, what we hope is our franchise left tackle. Okay, he's definitely been a better left tackle than Larry Borom, so could be a big boost for the Bears O-line, but they do have other injuries, unfortunately, on this O-line. Darnell Wright, our starting right tackle, is not practicing on Wednesday due to a shoulder injury, the same one that he suffered, before last game. And Darnell Wright played with one shoulder basically last game and played pretty well against Max Crosby. Okay, only allowed 1 sack against Max Crosby, so he's a tough guy, but maybe the Bears will be more cautious with him going forward so he does not re-injure himself. So maybe Darnell Wright misses this game. Maybe Nate Davis also doesn't play because he is dealing with an ankle injury. So, a little bit banged up still, the Bears offensive line is, but they have been playing a lot better as of late. So hopefully that continues going forward. And finally, talking about starting quarterback Tyson Bagent, he made quick, smart decisions in his last game against the Raiders. Now, he doesn't have the best arm in the world. He's not the most, crazy physically imposing guy as a quarterback, right? So he's not going to be, breaking your ankles in the open field like a Justin Fields, or, passing for, 60-yard bombs downfield like Justin Fields probably. But in the short to intermediate part of the field, he was really good there in making quick decisions and getting the ball out quickly in terms of, limiting pressure taken also by getting the ball out of his hands. So he's still a rookie quarterback, guys. I'm not expecting too much out of him because he is young. He's going to be making some mistakes, but so far he has been pretty good, and we'll see if he can build off his last performance in this game on Sunday Night Football. But talking about the Chicago Bears defense now, they rank number 28 in points allowed per game, number 18 in yards allowed per game, number 29 pass defense, and number 5 run defense. But the last 3 games, they have been a completely different defense, and credit goes out to Coach Eberflus for fixing things on the defensive side of the football after he took over play calling duties from Alan Williams. Okay, he's been blitzing a lot more, especially on 3rd down, because he realizes that we can't get pressure only sending 4. So we've been, blitzing our defensive backs. We've been sending pressure in creative ways as of late. So even though the numbers don't look good for the Bears defense, they have been a much different defense as of late. And You know, their run defense especially has been a core strength of this team, which I just cannot comprehend how good they have become against the run. Okay, they rank as the number 5 run defense in football, and that's crazy because last year they ranked as the number 31 run defense. And guys like Andrew Billings, big beefy guy up front, you know, Javon Dexter, also the rookie, you know, the linebackers, TJ Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds have been helping out a lot in terms of, you know, plugging up these running lanes. And it's helped the Bears defense get off the field, right? Because on first down, on second down, like these runs are really not going for that much yardage. So the opponent ends up in like third and longs, and Eberflus now is blitzing on third and long. So we're actually getting stops and getting some pressure on the quarterback. It's so good to see because of how bad the Bears defense was, you know, last year and at the beginning of this year. So that run defense definitely is something to be reckoned with. Like TJ Edwards does not let you go in the open field. He gets you down if he gets his hands on you. So truly happy that Bears do have an identity on defense, and that's stopping the run. Okay, we don't let teams run up on us because we're physical at the line of scrimmage. We don't miss tackles at the line of scrimmage. Our safeties, our cornerbacks also are really good at tackling. So, you know, strong all-around effort against the run. Our pass rush, I wish, was better. Like I mentioned, Eberflus is sending extra guys to account for that. Like last game, Kyler Gordon got sent on a nickel blitz a couple times in that game. Almost got close to getting sacks, but he did get pressure, you know, on the quarterback. So, you know, all in all, man, I'm actually pretty optimistic about the Bears defense at this point in time. Okay, it's still not an elite defense, but we've been getting strong play from stars like Jalen Johnson, stars like TJ Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds getting back-to-back games in which he's gotten turnovers. So the hits principles, man, are really starting to work, and we'll see if that continues against a star quarterback like Justin Herbert. But now talking about my 3 keys to Bears victory, how can the Chicago Bears win this game, steal this game on the road? And key number 1, guys, is going to be for Tyson Bagent to occasionally threaten the defense deep in this game. Okay, I guarantee you, even though with how bad the Chargers defense has been, Brandon Staley, a defensive mind, will be smart enough to take stuff away at the line of scrimmage in this game. Okay, he's going to bring up his safeties near the line of scrimmage, and Tyson Bagent at some point is going to have to throw the ball downfield. Okay, we probably will not be able to replicate the game plan of only having him throw for an average of 2 air yards per pass, because that's just not how the NFL works. Okay, at some point you do have to throw the ball downfield. You can succeed a lot with the short, quick passing game, but you do have to throw the ball downfield to keep the defense honest at times. Otherwise, our run game also is going to suffer because they're going to be stacking the box and, like I mentioned, you know, bringing the safeties, bringing the cornerbacks near the line of scrimmage. So that doesn't mean to only throw the ball downfield. Obviously, stick with what Tyson Bagent is good at doing, and that's working the short, quick passing game. But at some point, man, he's going to have to throw a deep bomb to Darnell Mooney, to DJ Moore, to Tyler Scott, whoever, just to keep that defense honest and get some space for us near the line of scrimmage. Okay, I don't think the game plan that we had last game is going to work every single game against better teams like the Chargers. So that's key number 1. Key number 2 then is going to be to finish pressure with sacks if you are the Chicago Bears defense. Justin Herbert is a quarterback that can make crazy off-platform throws. He can break sacks. He can, you know, run downfield and throw a bomb over your head, right? So if you are the Chicago Bears defense, you have to get this quarterback into the dirt, and that's easier said than done because he is 6'6" and tough to bring down, but you're gonna have to find a way to finish those pressures with sacks if you want a chance to get off the field. Otherwise, he's gonna extend the play and make you look silly in the process. So that's key number 2. And then finally, key number 3 is going to be to rely on the strength of your run game if you are Luke Getsy, okay? Don't force Tyson Bagent to be the hero in this game. As confident as he still is a rookie quarterback that does not know NFL defenses like a veteran does. So stick with the ground game, okay? Stick with Deontay Foreman, who's been bulldozing through people, that's been hurdling people. We got Roshan Johnson back also for this game, so we should be having a heavy dose of the ground game if we do want to move the ball downfield like we did in the last game against the Raiders. So those are the 3 keys to Bears victory. As for my score prediction, who do I have win this matchup? Guys, I have the Chicago Bears going into SoFi Stadium on national TV in front of all of America and sadly losing against the Chargers by a score of 24-21. I do think it's going to be a pretty close game. We definitely can win this game with how bad the Chargers have been at times this year, but I just can't pick the Bears to win back-to-back games until I see it actually happen for myself. Okay, the Bears have not won a back-to-back game in almost 2 years at this point, and in the Eberflus era, we've been falling flat on our faces after good wins, you know, so far. So I'm not going to fall for the same trap and pick a Bears win until I see it actually happen. Do I hope it happens? Obviously I do. I hope Tyson Bagent goes off and proves me wrong, proves all of America wrong. But being realistic, going up against Justin Herbert, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, he probably outduels our rookie quarterback Tyson Bagent, and we fall just short of actually winning this game and sadly fall to 2-6. As for my offensive MVP of this game, I'm picking D'Onta Foreman, man. I mean, this guy's been an absolute bulldozer. You know, starting with the Chicago Bears, I think he goes off for 75 rushing yards, maybe 2 touchdowns. I think that he's proven he can handle the RB1 job. So even with Roschon Johnson coming back, I think D'Onta Foreman should get the vast majority of the carries. So that's offense MVP. Defense MVP, I'm going to be going with Yannick Ngakoue. Okay, Yannick has been quiet for some parts this season, but I think in this game he does get 1.5 sacks and does get home to Justin Herbert a couple times almost, and has a pretty good performance for the Bears defense in this game. But leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen in this game. If Tyson Bagent actually goes out there and performs really well and wins this game for the Bears, that would be freaking insane. And that would, you know, really save the Bears season, because like I mentioned, they have so many winnable games coming up down the stretch, you know, when Justin Fields comes back. And obviously if Tyson Bagent wins this game, like, there's going to be discussions in America about who should be the Bears starting quarterback, you know, for the rest of the season. But I don't think there's going to be any discussion in the Bears coaching staff, because they have stated that Justin Fields is going to be the starting quarterback when he is fully healthy, as he should be, right? Because this is the prove it year for Justin Fields, and we have to see him on the football field to see what he has, right? He's only, you know, started for less than half of the season so far. If Justin Fields does come back week 9, he would have another full half to prove himself, and hopefully he does, because again, guys, it's in our best interest for Justin Fields to work out as a quarterback, because he has a much higher ceiling than Tyson Bagent does. So, you know, hopefully Tyson Bagent goes out there and completely dominates, because that'll be a fascinating story to talk about. But again, leave your comments down below. Hopefully the Bears win. As always, bear down.